Tamil Priya? Tamil Priya can start.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome back, participants. Today's third session is about architectural components and activities in Kotlin. With the highest level of esteem, I introduce Dr. R. Gomati ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Banariaman Institute of Technology for this session. She has completed her undergraduate in BE Computer Science and Engineering at SSM College of Engineering and ME in Computer Science and Engineering at Banariaman Institute of Technology. She has also obtained her doctorate at the Anna University, Chennai. She has an academic experience of about 16 years, and her area of specialization include semantic web and query optimization. She has presented papers in 8 conferences, delivered 2 guest lectures, and her article had been published in 6 journals. In addition, she received awards like Young Faculty Achiever Award 2018 by Engineering Professional Society and Excellence Teaching in Higher Education Award. Today, it gives me an immense pleasure to invite such a knowledgeable person for this program. I request you to take up the session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue. No problem.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. So I am Dr. Gomati from Banariaman Institute of Technology. I am very happy to handle a session in this Atal FDP on Kotlin. So the topic I am going to handle in today's session is about the Kotlin architecture, components, and activities. So let us enter into the session. So before entering into the architecture of Kotlin, let me ask you a question. What do we mean by an app? So in day-to-day life, we come across the word app, right? So in today's world, we are always with electronic gadgets, and we come across many different apps. So what do we mean by an app?
Basically a program which will run on a mobile device.
Right. So the applications only, we call it as a app in short when we relate it to a mobile device, right? So we come across many different applications on our mobile device. So the word app is an abbreviation for application. So when we use applications in the computers, we call it as an application. But if we use it in a mobile device, we call it as an app in short. So it is a small piece of software that runs on a website, smartphone, tablet, or any other electronic device. We call it as an app. And an important thing about an app is that an app may or may not have a connection to the internet. So you can also list some examples such that some apps may have connection to the internet and some apps does not depend upon the internet. So can you name an app which does not have a connection to the internet? So in our mobile device, we come across many apps.
Calculator.
Very good. So calculator is one of the app which does not require an internet connection. So the other apps like Gmail or Play Store, all these apps, it requires definitely an internet connection. And so the app can be used to describe anything that is not a full-fledged software program, but it is designed for a specific purpose. So having known what is an app, the next thing we need to know is that what is meant by an Android app. So Android is an operating system, which is a mobile operating system. So when we use a computer, we come across different operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. So similarly, when we use a mobile device, we have some operating systems. So the operating systems that comes with the mobile depends upon the manufacturer. So can you list out some of the mobile operating systems?
iOS for Apple.
Yes. So if we use an Apple phone, it will be coming with the iOS. So many of the mobiles we use comes with the Android as the mobile operating system. So Android app is a small piece of software that runs on a smartphone's Android operating system. So inside that operating system, we find many different applications, small apps. We call it as apps. So those apps, how they are developed, what software we use to develop such kind of applications. That's what we are going to see. So these apps can be written using programming languages like Java, C++, and now the language came is Kotlin. So using the Android software development toolkit, you can write codes using these programming languages and you can convert it into a entire software application and install it in your mobile. So the application developed using this Android SDK will be having a format as .apk as a suffix. And after completely developing the application, we will be installing in our mobile device. So how these applications are built? So to build these applications, we can choose any programming language, and I have listed some of the languages like Java, Kotlin, C++, etc. So Kotlin is the recently available programming language. So it is a general purpose, statically typed and open source programming language. It runs on JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine, and it can be used anywhere like we use Java. And it can be
आपके
used to...
IoT के प्रैक्टिकल हो गए बेटा कंप्लीट?
Pardon, ma'am?
फिर क्या करते हैं आप लैब में? अच्छा, अभी होंगे नहीं, फ्राइडे तक कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाएंगे, हो पाएंगे?
Surabhi Sharma.
Oh, sorry ma'am, sorry for interruption.
Okay.
Okay, let me continue. So Kotlin language, Kotlin is a programming language. It can be used to develop Android applications, server-side applications, and many more. So the syntax of Kotlin will not be exactly similar to Java, but Kotlin is reliant on existing Java class library. One of the feature of Kotlin is the interoperability. So it works with the Java class libraries and you can write codes based on that. So the features of Kotlin includes interoperability, code safety, and clarity to the developers around the world. So this is an introduction to Kotlin. So let us see what is the history of Kotlin. Who developed Kotlin? So Kotlin was developed by the JetBrains team in 2020. It was a project started in 2020 to develop the language and it was released in February 2016. So Kotlin was developed under the Apache 2.0 license. Now let us see what are all the features of Kotlin. So the first feature of Kotlin is that it is concise. That is, it can explain many concepts in a precise manner. That is concise. Then null safety. So it is one of the feature present in Kotlin. Then interoperability. As I said, it can work with the Java class libraries. So it is interoperable. Then SmartCast. So SmartCast is a special feature in Kotlin, which is used in checking conditions. So that we will be understanding when we start programming with Kotlin about the SmartCast feature. Then compilation time is less and it is tool friendly and it has some extension functions. So these are some of the features of Kotlin. And what are the advantages of this Kotlin programming language? So it is a easy to program language and concise. The runtime and performance is more when we develop applications using this language. And the main feature, interoperability, is one of the advantages of Kotlin, and it is a brand new software. And what are the disadvantages of this programming language, Kotlin? So Kotlin, while writing programs with Kotlin, we need to use namespaces, and this namespace declaration is a little bit disadvantage, and there is no static declarations used with this Kotlin. So these two are the disadvantages of this programming language. So next is Kotlin's environment setup. So how to write programs using Kotlin? What are the softwares needed for you to write a program using this Kotlin programming language? So let us see the environmental setup of this language. So as I told you that Kotlin runs on Java virtual machine. So definitely we need to include JDK version 8 if you want to develop Kotlin for your local device. Otherwise, if you are using some integrated development environments, you can choose any of the following IDEs of your choice, like NetBeans, Android Studio, or IntelliJ. So the best IDE you can choose is the Android Studio, because we are developing apps for Android phones. So it will be easy for you if you choose this Android Studio as an IDE to work with Kotlin programs. So far we have seen the introduction to what is Kotlin, who developed the language, what are the features of Kotlin, what are the advantages and disadvantages, what is the environmental setup for working with this Kotlin programming language. Now let us enter into the architecture of Kotlin. So it's not a hard architecture. It's a very simple architecture. So it is a programming language, and it has its own architecture to allocate memory and produce a quality output to the user. So similar to how we use the Java program, we write a Java program, store it in .java file, and we convert it into a bytecode and give it to the Java virtual machine for compilation. So similar, the same process is here also. So Kotlin compiler creates a bytecode. So we write a Kotlin program. After that, that program will be converted to a bytecode, and that bytecode will be executed with a Java virtual machine. So similar to how we use Java, the same architecture will be here for Kotlin also. So this is the simple architecture of Kotlin. So here the first thing is we have the Kotlin file named as filename.kt. That is the Kotlin file. And then this Kotlin file will be converted to bytecodes, and it will be given as input to the Java virtual machine for execution. So Kotlin is having only a simple architecture. So now we have understood what is Kotlin, what is how we are going to write programs using Kotlin. So the basics of Kotlin we have understood. So what will be the environmental setup in order to start writing a program with Kotlin we have seen. So basically we use a integrated development environment like NetBeans or Android Studio or IntelliJ, like that. So after choosing an integrated development environment, we start developing applications, that is apps, using this Kotlin programming language. So before that, we should know about the app component. So app component consists of, so for any Android operating system, we have something called app component. So before developing an before developing an application, we should understand what is this app component. So app component consists of four categories. The first one is the activities, then broadcast receivers, content providers, and services. So we are going to concentrate on activities, because activities are used to create apps using this Kotlin programming language. Okay, so an activity represents a single screen with a user interface, and the activity performs actions on the screen. That is, whatever application, that is whatever app you create, after creating an app, you will be installing it in your mobile device, right? So when you click that app, it will open a screen for you. That is the initial screen, what you have designed will be opened for you. That screen, we call it as an activity. And inside that screen, you will be designing the other things of that screen, which in turn we will click the next thing, etc. So everything will be displayed in a separate screen, and those screens we call it as an activity. So activities are very important for developing any mobile application. So using this app components activities concept, we are going to create a mobile app using the Kotlin programming language. So what is an activity? Activity represents a single screen with a user interface. That is, user interface means what? The graphical user interface, what you are going to see whenever you look at that app. When you click that app, what you are going to see, that is what is visible to you on the screen, that is called as activity. Okay, so using this activities a component of your Android, we are going to create the applications. So the remaining things we are not concentrating now. So the main thing we concentrate is the activities. So only when you understand what is an activity, you will be able to develop different mobile applications based on the activities. So what is an activity? So as I said, whenever you want to create or develop an Android app, the first thing you have to create is an activity. So activity is a place where all the actions happens for your application. So you will be having some ideas about what your application should do, right? So based on the ideas, you will be designing your application. So activity is a base for that. That is the initial screen, or inside the application you will be having many small things which takes you to some other places. So everything is an activity. So activities are where all the actions happens, because they are the screens that allows the user to interact with your application. And it is the building block, one of the building blocks of any Android application. So even if you develop a simple application activity, you should be familiar with what is an activity. So whenever we open an Android application, as I told you that whenever you open an Android application, you will be seeing a screen. A screen will be visible to you, right? So when you open a calculator, what screen is visible to you? You will be having a text box for entering the numbers. You will be having some buttons. You will be having numbers on that buttons. You will be having a plus sign, minus sign, etc. So that screen is the initial screen when you open a calculator, right? So that user interface, is the first screen that is visible to you whenever you open an app. So that screen, we call it as an activity. So after that, when you enter into that app, you will be doing some actions with that app. So it will take you to some other screen. So that is another activity. Okay, so whatever new things, new places it takes you, we call it as, each of them we call it as an activity. So it is a basic component of Android application. So I have given an example for you here, the Gmail application. So when you click your Gmail app on your mobile, what you're going to see initially, your emails will be listed on the screen. So that is one activity, the initial activity. Okay. when you click a particular mail, what happens? It will be opened in another screen. So that screen we call it as another activity. So like this, every application will be having its initial screen, which is an activity, and inside that main screen you will be taken to some other screens. So everything is an activity. So based on the activity concept only, we can design a mobile app using this Kotlin programming language. So if you want to use this activity in your mobile app, you should be aware of the life cycle associated with an activity. Okay, that is life cycle of an activity. So you should be aware of what is a activity life cycle. So this is a foundation. So it consists of many methods uh, you will be using while designing a mobile app, and that is called as activity life cycle. Okay, so some methods are available, predefined methods are available. So you should have a knowledge of what are the methods available and when we should call those methods in our program. Then only you can design a mobile app using this Kotlin programming language. So those the knowledge about what are the methods available, when a particular method should be called, when a particular method will stop its execution, those things we call it as activity life cycle. So it is given in a diagrammatic representation like this. So you can see here in the left side bottom, the user launches the app. So when the user launches the app, a particular method will be called. Okay, what method is called is onCreate method is called, because it's the first time you are going to open an app. So whenever you first time when you open an app, this onCreate method will be called. Okay, then after that, which method will be called is the onStart method will be called, then followed by onResume will be called. Then when you go back from one screen to another screen, you may pass that particular screen using the onPass method, and you can go to another activity. Then again, when you come back to the previous activity, this onResume can be called. Then when you need to exit from that activity, onStop method will be called, and finally onDestroy will be called if you delete that application. Okay, so these are the methods in the life cycle of any activity. So you should understand the flow of these methods. When a particular method need to be called, then only you can program it accordingly. Okay, so whenever you create an app using Kotlin language, you need to include all one or the other of these methods. Then only your app will be having a flow from one place to another place. So based on the methods you call in your program, the particular activity will be activated, and you will be taken to their corresponding screens. Okay, so what are the methods available in the activity life cycle? The first one is onCreate, the second one is onStart, third one is onResume, then onPass, onStop, and onDestroy. So totally we have 6 methods which will be called during different stages of your application execution. So if your application is very large, based on how you are designing your application, the corresponding methods will be called. So in the end of this presentation, I have given some use cases how this methods will be called. So you will be you can better understand what these methods are and how we have to use these methods. So for now, you please you just remember that there are 6 methods in the life cycle of an activity. First one is onCreate, onStart, onResume, onPass, onStop, and onDestroy. So this is an explanation of the different methods. The first one is onCreate. So onCreate, when it will be called is that whenever the activity is first created, or whenever you first initialize the elements of your application, this onCreate method will be called. Then onStart, On start will be called just before presenting the user with an activity. This method will be called. So it is always followed by on resume. So here, after entering into an application, you can start another activity like that, like animations or audio-based content, etc. Based on the application you have developed, you may enter into the next activity. So for that, on resume will be called. So on resume, as an activity enters the foreground, this method will be called. And this is a place where we use to restart animations or update user interface elements or restart camera previews or resume audio or video playback, etc., or initialize some components. So these are some examples why we are following this on resume method. Then if you want to stop a particular activity, you will that is when you want to give a pass to a particular activity for a specific amount of time, this on pass method will be called. So this method is called before sliding into the background process. That is, when you call this method, at the background some activity will be running and we will be in some other activity screen. So some examples are given, like the same thing, animations, music playback, or camera restart. For those things, we will be using this on pass method. Then after on pass, if you want to again go to the previous activity, we will be again calling the on resume method. And if you want to entirely stop a particular activity screen, you will be calling the on stop method. So this method is called right after on pass, when the activity is no longer visible to the user, and it is a good place to save the data you want to commit to the disk. So at the end of you leaving the application, whatever changes you have made, that will be saved when after you call this on stop activity, sorry, method. And then after on stop, you can also call this on restart if you are again going into that app. And finally, you can call this on destroy if that changes are released from memory. So on destroy is the final callback you will receive from the operating system before the activity is destroyed. And you also have another method called finish. So you can trigger an activity's destruction by calling this method finish. So finish was not given in that activity life cycle, but there is an option you have, this finish method. It can be triggered by the system when the system needs to recope the memory. Okay, so I think you have got a knowledge about the life cycle of an activity, which consists of 6 methods. So we have seen in which scenario we need to call a particular method in this activities life cycle. So if you understand this only, you can code your program by calling these methods based on the design of your mobile app, what you have decided. So let me show you some real-time example use cases of activity life cycle. So the first use case is that whenever we open an activity for the first time, the sequence of changes it goes through is on create, on start, and on resume. So for example, consider you have a mobile with you. You are opening a particular application, for example, Gmail. So you just click that application. So when you click that application, what is the sequence of methods that will be called is that on create followed by on start followed by on resume. So after this point, the activity is ready to the user to be used by the user. So after executing these 3 methods only, you will be viewing your Gmail with a list of mails from different mail IDs. So it is the case that the activity is ready to be used by the user. So the second use case is that, for example, consider we are minimizing the app by pressing the home button of your phone. For example, you are working with some app. For example, you are playing some music with your app, and you need to suddenly you want to uh, that is, you want to put your app at the background, and you want to come to the home of your mobile device. Means you will be pressing the home button of your phone. So at this time, how the what are the methods that will be called is that on pause followed by on stop. So on pause is for the background activity, that is the music player to be paused for a while, so it will be put in the background, followed by the on stop method. And the third use case is that when we jump between activities, when we jump from one activity to another, what happens? Consider two activities, activity A and B. So first we have opened activity A. So as I told you in the first use case, what will happen? On create followed by on start followed by on resume will be called for activity A. So this is the case whenever a new activity is opened, these three methods will be called. Okay, and then now let us say we click a button inside your app. Consider you are designing an app in which when you open that app, that is your first activity. After entering into the app, you have a button and you are clicking that button. So it will take you to some other screen. So that will be your activity B. So when activity B is trying to get opened, which method will be called? On pause will be called for which activity? Activity A, because we are moving from activity A to activity B. So for activity A, the method to be called is that on pause. And for activity B is now a new activity, right? So for activity B, you have to call on create followed by on start followed by on resume. And then after completing your work with activity B, you have to close activity B and come back to activity A. So you have to call the on stop of activity A will be called, and finally activity B will be loaded. Sorry, this is after moving from the button of your activity A, it will enter into activity B. So before that activity, for activity A, pause will be called followed by on stop, and finally B will be loaded into your mobile device. And then now your work is over with the activity B. Now you want to again go back to activity A. So what method will be called? The on pause of activity B will be called, and then you will be taken to activity A. Now you are again freshly entering into activity A. So again on restart followed by on start followed by on resume will be called for activity A. So this is the sequence of operations that happens whenever you move from one activity to another. Then after on resume of activity A is called, finally we are going to close your activity. So for that on stop will be called followed by on destroy. So before calling activity for on stop and on destroy for activity B, activity A, B will be first closed. After that activity A will be closed. So this is a lengthy use case we have seen, the third use case, in which we are moving from one activity to another. Okay, the initial activity is your main screen, the activity which is called activity A, and inside activity A you have a button, and when you click that button you are entering into another screen, that we call it as activity B. So in between these movements, what flow of methods you need to call, then only the corresponding flow of activity actions will happen with that mobile app. So that's why we say that the life cycle of activity is very important, and the knowledge about the life cycle of activity is very important, because only by calling these methods one by one, the corresponding methods for a particular activity, you can make your app to work as per your design. And the fourth use case is pressing the lock button when activity is on. So when you press the lock button, the on pass and followed by on stop will be called, and we reopen the app again. The sequence of methods called is on restart followed by on start followed by on resume. And the next use case is when we kill the application from the recent apps tray. So we browse through many apps, and at last we try to close all the apps we have opened at the background. So we need to kill the app from the apps tray. So on pass followed by on stop followed by on destroy will be called. Again, after this will destroy the activity, and again when you open the app, it will call the on create. And the next use case is, this is the final use case in which we need to ask permission from the user. So we call the on create. So for example, if you are using the settings app, so it will ask you to allow permissions or deny permissions. So another screen comes into your activity. So the on create functions will be called whenever you come across such type of screens in your applications in between. So these are some real-time use cases which explained you the flow of methods you need to call whenever you design a mobile app. Now let us see some examples for each of these methods. Okay, so consider this mobile application. So this is a simple mobile application they have designed, in which your application is that your application will be having an icon. When you click that application, it will just display a message to you. Okay, so in this mobile app, they have clicked the application. It is displaying a message on start, call, after, on create. This is the message displayed to the user. So this message indicates that whenever you open an app, this on start method is called. So that a calling of that method itself is displayed as a message to the user. So this is an example. So when the on start method is called, whenever you just click your application designed, you will be entering into your application's first activity screen, and at that time this on start method will be called. So before on start, on create will be called. Then for on pass, then this on pass will be called. So for example, consider the first screen of your application designed, which consists of a text box and a button having a next activity text. So click on next activity to see on pass method called. So we click the next activity button. So when you click the next activity button, it will take you to the second screen. Okay, so the second screen displays a message, previous activity goes in background, so on pass called for that activity. So which is your previous activity? The first screen I have shown you is the previous activity, and now we are in the second screen, which is the second activity. So when you transfer from first activity to the second activity, what happens? On pass method will be called for the first activity. Okay, the first screen's on pass method will be called. And now we have again, we are again going back to the previous screen. So during that time, again on start of the first screen will be called. So this is an example for on stop. So after the first screen tells you the initial activity, then from this activity we are entering into the next screen. So when you enter into the next screen, I told you that on pass method will be called. After on pass, on stop will also be called, because you are now currently active in the second screen. So first screen is not necessary now. So on pass followed by on stop will be called when you move from one screen to another screen. So these are some of the real-time examples. So you should understand the flow of the activities, activity life cycles. You should remember when, in which scenario, which method should be called.
Excuse
Then
me,
only
ma'am.
you. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what I am able to understand is at a time there will be only one activity under a start.
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
correct? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Only one activity can be in start state at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just getting confused between on create and on start. What is the
Ma'am,
difference?
on create is for initial, whenever any activity is created, it is create will be called, ma'am.
Okay,
First screen is one activity. For initially creating a screen, on create will be called.
okay, okay, ma'am. And start?
Start will also be called, followed by on create. Start will
Okay,
also be called.
okay.
But when you jump from second activity to the first one,
Mhm.
already that first activity is created, right?
Okay,
So on start is enough when you jump from the second one to the first one.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So these things, the life cycle will be clear when only when we enter into development of apps.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So now let us see an example how to develop a first application in Kotlin. So I have taken an example using the Android Studio. So for that, first you have to install Android Studio in your system. Then after installation, you will be entering into this wizard. So welcome to Android Studio, in which you have different items are there, in which you have start a new Android Studio project. So when you click that, that is the first step for creating any app. So after clicking that new project, you will be moving to the next screen, which asks you to enter the application name, then company domain, project location. So we enter all these details. So in this case, they have entered the application name as Hello World. And here you have to uh, tick the include Kotlin support, because in Android Studio we can develop Android apps using Java or C++, any language. So here we are going to develop using Kotlin. So we have to tick that include Kotlin support at the bottom of the screen, and then we go to the next screen. And then in the next screen, we choose some factors related to Android settings. So here the Android versions are given. Yeah, I think you are familiar with different Android versions. So you can choose any version from this screen. and this is the main thing, that is creating an activity. So we can choose a template for your activity initially. So here you have a empty template with a screen like this. So you can choose that empty template and you can go to the next screen. So that is the GUI part in which you will be choosing all these settings and templates. So after that, what happens is it will generate a activity main.xml file, and in that file, so this is the code for activity main.xml file. So in this code, this is an XML code designed based on the template you have chosen. Okay, so whenever you change your template, whenever you add contents to your template, you have to write the corresponding XML code here. For example, we have initially chosen an empty template. Now we want to place a text box and a button inside that template. So after placing that button or a text box inside your template, you will be having provisions for placing that you are designing your template. So initially we have chosen a empty template. After choosing a template, you can design your application based on whatever controls you need to add into your template. For example, I have shown you an example in which you had a text box and a button. So like that, if you want to include a text box and a button, you have an option in that Android Studio. You can drag and drop the controls into the template. So when you drag and drop those controls, the corresponding this Android file, XML file code gets changed. For example, in this code, you can see a text view, that is a text. We are going to just display a text in your application. Whenever you open an application, a particular text is displayed in your application. That is the app we are going to design for now. So we have included a text view control into your empty template. So when you include a text view control into the template, your XML code automatically changes like this. So initially this text view code will not be present. Initially only this XML version, Android support constraint, all these codes, and excluding this text view, the remaining codes will be present initially. So whenever you add some controls, the code will change like whatever controls you add. For example, they have included a text view, and here whatever I have marked in red, so this is the place where you need to make some changes with that code. So I want to display a message, hello world. So Android text, in that you just change this line as Android text is equal to hello world. So this code will be like this. So this is one part of your program. And the another thing is the Kotlin file. So this is for your user interface design, this XML file, and this is for your main program. That is the in which language we are writing the program. We are writing it in Kotlin language. So this is the main activity.kt. A file will be automatically generated. So this .kt file and .xml file will be created automatically when you go start with a new project. So in main activity.kt, you will be having the code like this. So import some Android files are imported. So the main activity class is there. So you can see here the onCreate function. Okay. So only the onCreate function is present now, right, in this code. So if you want to design an app based on whatever things you decide, like you need to place a text box, a button, then when you click a button you need to go to some other activity. When you come back to the activity from one activity to another, what happens? So for designing all those things, you should know the flow of calling all these methods, right? So in our example now, I am creating just an app. When you click that app, it just displays hello world. So for that, it is enough to call the onCreate activity. Okay, so the code initially present is the onCreate activity. So this code is automatically generated. So like this, so you will be having the code like this. So inside this main activity, if you want to call the other codes, means so based on your application design, we need to call the other codes. Okay, so after that we just click the run button. So here you can find the run button. So your output will be like this, something like this. So in which we have chosen initially a empty template, and we have just included a text view control into that template, and we have included a text as hello world. So when you run this program, this activity is created and the message hello world is displayed. Here we cannot move from this activity to any other activity, because we have not designed an app in such a way. We have just chosen an empty template which will display a particular message. So we have just called the onCreate function. Okay, so if you want to include a button, or if you want to include a text box, so you have to change your code accordingly. So you have to first drag and drop all the controls according to your design. After that, you have to modify the Kotlin code by calling the different methods, what we have seen in the life cycle of an activity. So this is how you have to program using Kotlin language to design your app. So here the output we see is in the Android SDK, Android toolkit itself. So using the virtual device only, we are viewing our output. So let me summarize what we have seen in today's session. So initially we have seen what is meant by an app. So in day-to-day life, we frequently come across the word app, so which refers to a small piece of software that runs on a mobile device. So when you relate it to a computer, we call it as an application. So similar to the same thing, if you refer it related to a mobile device, we call it as a app. So in day-to-day life, we come across many different apps, and frequently we are using the Android operating system as a mobile operating system. So if you want to develop small applications, small or large applications using for any Android operating system, we should choose a programming language, and we should choose a integrated development environment. So before that, we had the main programming language used was Java, and now we have got the open source programming language, which is Kotlin. So in before understanding how to program with Kotlin, we should know the architecture of Kotlin, how it works. So it is similar to Java programming language. It is interoperable with Java. So the program you write in Kotlin will be saved with the .kt as extension, which will be converted to bytecodes, and it will be given to the Java virtual machine for execution. So Kotlin is having a very simple architecture. And having understood the architecture of Kotlin, we should know the environmental setup of what are the things needed in order to work with Kotlin. So for that, we have seen some IDEs. So you can choose your own IDEs. So the best thing is you can use Android SDK. And after that, the important thing, if you want to design an application, is the activity. So based on the activity concept only, we can design a mobile app using Kotlin. So we have seen the life cycle of an activity in which we have seen 6 different methods like on create, on start, resume, on pass, stop, and destroy. So in different situations, we need to make a call to these methods in different places. Then only depending upon the function calls you are making, your app will be working according to that call. So we have seen some real-time use cases. So this activity life cycle will be better understood only if you start writing a app development program. So you have to first start working with the Kotlin programs. You have to first create simple apps and start designing more complicated apps. Then only you can be familiar with what are the situations in which we can make a call to these methods. And then we have seen some real-time examples with some screenshots and different outputs, what are the different flows of methods called. And then I have explained you how to work with this Kotlin program using the Android SDK. So you just install Android SDK and you choose a new project and choose a template for your output. So in this output, it is an empty template. Inside that, we have designed a text view. So similarly, many predefined templates are available. You can choose any one of them and then you can design your application based on what type of output you want to display. And finally, you have to edit the code in the XML code as well as the Kotlin code. You can edit the code according to your design and finally run the program to view the output. So this is what an introduction to Kotlin, its architecture, components, and the activities. I think you have got a knowledge of the basics of Kotlin architecture and activities. So if you have any queries, you can ask.
Participants, if you have any queries to ask, kindly ask our resource person. No other questions? Okay, ma'am. Participants said it is so nice, and there's no questions to ask, and it is simple and informative session. Uh,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
I thank the management of Vellalar College of Engineering and Technology for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this ATL FDP to handle a session on Kotlin basics. I thank Gomati ma'am and Viveka ma'am for giving me an opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you participants for your patience learning. And thank you all once again and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
participants, kindly wait for a minute. I will post the attendance in this link. And suppose if you want to say any feedbacks or any other thing, if you want to have that sessions tomorrow and day after tomorrow, let me informed through here or through WhatsApp chat. So kindly wait for a minute to post your attendance.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Definitely, we will post the content of yesterday's and today's session. We will share with our WhatsApp group. You can get it from there. And the attendance is posted in our chat box. So kindly fill that attendance. Suppose if you are having any inconvenience or any discrepancy in yesterday's and day before yesterday's attendance, so kindly notify me through WhatsApp. Okay, I will check it and um, do the needful. Okay, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I am attending regularly the sessions since the first day of the workshop.
Okay.
But as per the attendance portal posted in the WhatsApp group, I am being marked absent on 6th of July.
What's your Aditya Sharma? Your Kumar is your
Yeah,
name?
yeah, Aditya Dhand, KT96 ID.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will check it, sir. Hope you give your query in a WhatsApp group. I will check it and modify it, sir. No problem.
Ma'am, I have 2-3 times posted the message in the WhatsApp group.
Sir, because in Atal portal, they are allow us to only modify at the end of the session only. Okay, we are not going to modify the attendance in Atal portal. This is for our reference only, so that it is very easy for us to modify, and we will upload all the attendance only on 9th evening or 10th morning.
Okay, ma'am, but I hope it will have no effect on because the condition is 80% attendance is required.
Yeah, you will get your certificate, sir. No problem. You will get that attendance, and moreover, you have to attend the test, and you should get more than 60% of mark in your test. That is also most important to get the attendance, and as well as you have to fill feedback in Atal portal also. So those
Okay,
things, as a faculty, hope so you know it.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Madam.
Yes, sir.
Madam, yesterday actually in the evening when the form was loaded, I got disconnected and I couldn't fill up the form. So it is possible that actually when I've seen the details, I was marked absent for yesterday, but I've attended all the sessions.
Okay, sir, no problem. I think I send you that link to you personally.
Yeah.
But you told me that the link is closed, is it?
Yes.
Okay, sir, I note it. No problem.
Fine.
Because
Thank
we
you,
are having a team and we are
no
all
issue.
in
I
so
don't
many
have issues with that because already your Google Meet will show my attendance because I was there.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. No problem.
Because at the moment in the morning I connect in the evening, disconnect the meeting in the evening after the sessions are over. But yesterday, due to some network issues, it got disconnected.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, please check mine also. Same here. Problem is same
Okay,
here
sir, no
actually.
problem.
Due to
You put
due to
your
network, I can't. Sorry to say, ma'am, but I can't open that Google form due to network
yes,
problem.
sir.
If possible, please
Okay,
check
sir.
my mine also, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And
Gorak
madam,
Khanna.
really, the sessions are going very nice. Like the way we are teaching to the students from so basic, it is being started and taken up to the nice levels.
Okay, sir.
So really, I'm happy with like what the sessions are going on. Or else we generally what we do, we turn on the meeting and move here and there. But here I'm sticking to the sessions only.
Oh, thank you, sir.
It's
Thank you
like
so
it's
much.
really beautiful sessions, beautiful
Okay,
sessions.
sir. Okay, sir. Sir, someone asked that start and close the session as per the schedule. We try to do that, sir, but because of this network issues and there are also many problems, technical issues in our side or that resource person side, we cannot able to make up the session at that scheduled time, sir. So that we are also facing a lot of trouble because of that timings.
So
So
that,
that
madam, since it is online, this will going to happen,
yeah.
and we all have to cooperate for that. Then only it is possible.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Because yes, because of technical issues, that
Yeah,
issues
ma'am, it is there. You
happens
cannot help
all
to that.
over.
You cannot help to that.
Yes, sir. So
The
that
things are existing. We are not like this is for the provider's problem. So we
yes,
can't
sir.
do anything.
See, today's morning, Neela Mageshwari ma'am wants try to complete all the thing, but for her, her network is not connected. See, she didn't notice that she is disconnected, so that so many problems happens in her place also. So that the delays or happens, but
No,
we
it is
try
like
to because
it's like
and
everybody.
another.
It's like to everybody. We should actually cooperate with some of the scenarios happens like this,
Okay,
because
sir.
this is the network. This is the even we are also facing the same thing. Being in Mumbai, in the proper Mumbai, we are also facing the same issues
Same
because
issue.
backbone is very overloaded. That's why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because all are going with online.
Yes. All or not everything is going online right now.
Yes, sir. Everything, everything.
That's why.
Okay, sir. So I will share you that today's and yesterday's PPT with WhatsApp, and so tomorrow we are going to have a sessions with industrial person to how to handle that location management with Android devices and stress management. This session will handled by our principal, Dr. M. Jayaraman, sir. Uh, so hope you will catch us on time.
Okay, ma'am. One thing only I want to ask that do will be getting the recordings of these sessions?
Yes, sir. You will get it. We will upload those things in YouTube, sir.
Okay, fine.
We will share the link to you, so
Fine,
you
fine.
can
Thank
get
you
it
very much,
from
ma'am.
there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Have a nice time. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you, sir. So, friends, hope so you complete the attendance. So, if you are having a problem in your yesterday and day before yesterday's attendance, kindly notify us through WhatsApp. We will do that action. Thank you, participants. If you put your attendance, you can leave this meeting. Thank you, friends. We will meet tomorrow. All the sessions for today is over, sir. You can left. Kindly post your attendance before left this meeting.
अब निकाल लो कौन सा लेना है, कोई दिक्कत लगे मैं बैठा हूँ, चेंज करानी है जब मेरी करानी है।